Hi, Legal Tech Meet. My name is Dr. Kary Oberbrunner. I'd like to thank, first of all, Advocate Rajat Dutta. Hope my pronunciation is correct. I want to thank you sincerely for inviting me. I'm going to get right into the content. I wish I could be joining you. However, I'm a university professor and I'm teaching in the middle of the semester. But when I got the invite, I just want to say I immediately responded with an absolute yes. I've studied exactly what the conference is all about. I've seen the distinguished speakers. Congratulations for your geographic area saying yes to exploring this important topic. Because I only have 7 to 10 minutes, I may pause this just so I maximize the time. However, let's get right into it. In the United States, we have what I have termed the IP dam dilemma. What that means is that there is a huge bottleneck. There's way too much friction. We see this friction anytime someone has an idea and they want to protect something, they have a lot of friction. And we know that when there's friction in life, whether it's taxi drivers becoming Uber or the hospitality industry with Airbnb, anytime that there's a lot of friction for the consumer, disruption is sure to happen. I wrote this article back in April. It basically describes that there is a bottleneck. In the US, we have over 800,000 patents waiting to be processed. Trademarks, copyrights are not a better story. And I said to myself, there has to be a better way. We are now moving at the speed of thought. We now have AI on the rise. AI is not the enemy, but AI is sure to steal our intellectual property if we're not careful. I've had my own intellectual property stolen. One with my book back in 2010. I've written 14 different books, and Your Secret Name, one of my books, was absolutely stolen. But most recently, my TEDx was stolen. So imagine doing a TEDx on blockchain, which I'm going to share with you today, a little bit about that value proposition statement. But it has over 1 million views, and sure enough, as I was preparing for my book, You Are an IP Company, to come out, I realized with a quick search that someone had actually taken my exact talk and stolen it. And I posted this on LinkedIn about a year ago. Somebody stole my intellectual property. Has that ever happened to you? By the way, if that does happen to you, do a quick screenshot. That's exactly what I did. And you can see here that this gentleman named Sergi, who I did not know, from the country of Georgia, had basically scraped my entire TEDx talk. Here's what's interesting. This man is a gentleman because he said, I deeply apologize. I used AI to write articles, and I had no idea that it took your exact TEDx talk. I apologize, and please forgive me. I said, no problem, don't worry about it. But this begs the question that there's a lot of people unintentionally stealing intellectual property simply because AI is serving it up in posts. If you post anything, picture, video, article, if you have not put a fence around that through intellectual property protection, it's like somebody going into your house and stealing it. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally. So what do we do? What's the solution? Let me go back to that word really quick, abracadabra. Abracadabra, does anyone know what it means? It means I create as I speak, or it came to pass as it was spoken. Think about that for a moment. I create as I speak. I believe that we need to protect as we imagine. I believe that we need to basically think of something and immediately put a fence around it through intellectual property protection. Patents, trademarks, copyrights, they do not offer a great solution. Why? Because it's time and money, time and money, time and money. In the US, the average patent rejection is 86% for a first-time filing, 86 to 88%. No one has this type of time and this type of money just to wait. So I said to myself a few years ago, there has to be a solution. It's called blockchain. Before we jump into the how, maybe we should talk about the why. Why protect intellectual property? Well, first of all, it is because if you look at the S&P 500, there is a major shift. In 1975, only 17% of the most valuable companies on the planet were IP. Now in 2020 and beyond, it's actually 90 to 96%. 90 to 96% of things like Apple, right? iPhone, things like Airbnb, any type of company, the 500 most valuable, 90 to 96% of the value of those companies are in an intellectual property. You might say, Kary, I don't know if I have any intellectual property. You absolutely do. Here's a quick example of 45 different ways of IP, 45 different expressions. You can see here websites, announcements, products, slide decks, publications, you name it. And in fact, we teach that your IP can actually be monetized in 47 different ways. This is all found in my book, You Are an IP Company. And in this book, we talk about 12 different steps on how to become an IP company. This is things like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is an IP company. Krispy Kreme donuts, you name it. Anytime you have differentiation, that is IP. So we've looked at the what is IP, 45 different expressions. Why protect IP? Because it's valuable. But here's what I want to share before I demo it. If you don't take your IP seriously, other people won't take you seriously. So what do I mean by that? I'm basically saying that imagine if you don't care about your IP. What if somebody else cares about it, your competitor, protects it, and locks you out of your own ideas and invention? This is very possible. And that's why we have to put a protection around our intellectual property. I call this a fence. You might not need the huge fence like the Great Wall of China, like a patent, but blockchain offers a fence that people respect. Why? Because it's time-stamped. And all intellectual property is based on time. You were there first, and that's why it's your invention. In fact, there's a term called prior art in patent law, which basically says that if you have proof that you were there first, the patent is no longer new and novel. So basically, if you protect something with instant IP, if someone comes along later and says, hey, that's mine, you actually can take down their patent because you were there first. They have proof that you have prior art. So let's demo Instant IP, which is my second company. And that is what I'm deeply passionate about. I'm deeply passionate about giving enterprises, businesses, creators protection so that they can keep protecting their IP and keep creating. I call this the IP flywheel. Everybody has products and services. And if you are going to publish that and then promote it without protecting, you now leave yourself vulnerable. This produces clarity, confidence, credibility, and capital. You must publish, but you have to protect, and then you promote, then you profit. Everybody here can try this for free. It's instantip.app. It's not in the App Store on purpose. We don't want anyone or anything getting between you and your IP. You can access this on a computer, a phone, a tablet. All you do is you create an account, and you can upload up to 100 megabytes, photo, text, file, you name it. I'm going to protect something like, for example, my logo. Why? Because let's say I come up with this and I want to protect it immediately. I name it and I describe it. I'm just going to put in the word test just to show you as an example. You can hide it and keep it as a trade secret, or you can go public. This is defense, this is offense. I'm going to keep mine just hidden so that you can see the example. When I click protect my idea, I use a credit. Everybody starts out with 1 credit for free. When I hit submit, it verifies it, it uses the IP credit, it turns it into a smart contract, it timestamps it. It's immutable, meaning that you can never change it, not even me. And now it's protected. I can view it in my portal, and now, my friend, I can transfer that asset. I can literally transfer that asset at a sale event or an exit of a company. I can share it. I can download it. I even have a certificate in case somebody tries to infringe. I now have a cease and desist letter with a timestamp on the blockchain. We use this with Polygon layer 2 Ethereum, and I can view that. It turns it into an asset, it timestamps it, and now I can go back and prove that I was there first. Folks, I wish I could share more with you, but let me just share this in general. Why be passionate about IP? Because we are humans. Humans are different than AI. AI is fine, it's a tool, but it can never replace humans. However, if we abdicate our responsibility of IP creation to AI, in my opinion, it is the downfall of humanity. We must beef up our confidence, and the way that we do that is through IP protection that is simple, fast, and as we say with Instant IP, It literally is idea protection at the speed of thought. This is Kary Oberbrunner. Please reach out if you need anything. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. I love to form collaborations with you. Let's take this idea to the masses. And the cool news about this is we have multiple patents around this. Again, I'm not against patents at all. I'm passionate about it, but we need a solution that is no longer the old archaic way. We no longer ride horses and buggies in modern civilization. We use cars. It is time for a new technology to come alongside traditional ways of IP protection. Thanks for having me.